The bell hasn't rung. He leans into slack ropes, smiling at a thunderstorm in human shape. A continent chants his name. Across the ring, a champion's fists drum the night. What kind of man invites the storm and plans to breathe inside it? He was born Cassius, fought as Clay, chose to be Ali. He gave up a crown to keep a name. Titles can be reclaimed. Dignity cannot. The shock wasn't that he won fights. It's that he refused to lose himself, no matter the cost. Rome gave him gold. America gave him a microphone. The streets gave him rhythm. I am the greatest, he boasted, and then set about proving it, not with one upset, but with a lifetime of battles inside and far beyond the ropes. Before the chance, there was a stolen bicycle in Louisville. A furious kid stormed into a basement gym, vowing to find the thief. A police officer with a trainer's eye handed him gloves. Anger became discipline, then velocity. Officer Joe Martin taught more than punches. He drilled balance, footwork, that dancing glide nobody saw coming. Louisville's ring became a classroom, and Cassius a quick study, memorizing angles like Scribner. He learned to talk as fast as his hands. Rhyme became weapon. Bragging wasn't vanity, it was theater, a feint performed with language. He'd predict the round and paint the canvas with words before any punches flew, before any punches fly.
In Rome, 1960, he stood light and quick, beating men who hit heavier. Gold glittered on his chest, but it was the idea that flashed brighter. America's promise, clashing with realities waiting back home. He turned pro with a mission. Reporters rolled eyes, opponents rolled shoulders. He rolled his head off the line and slid jabs like lightning. In showy robes, he became a spectacle. Beneath them, a strategist. Sonny Liston loomed like a storm front, scowling, annihilating, favored by gamblers and fear. The kid's poems sounded foolish in the shadow of that jaw, yet folly is only folly until it isn't. Clay danced, taunted, jabbed. Liston swung at ghosts. When the champion quit on his stool, a new monarch shouted to the sky. Upsets rewrite prophecy. That night, a loudmouth became a legend's opening chapter. Muhammad Ali. A friendship with Malcolm X shaped his horizon. Faith sharpened his spine. The price would be steep, but the point was clear. Identity wasn't a costume. It was a declaration. The rematch with Liston ended in a blink. The punch debated for decades. He stood over his fallen rival, shouting, not just at a man, but at doubt itself. The image hardened the new name into public memory. Vietnam beckoned. He refused. I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong. Stripped of his title, shadow banned from rings, he walked a different arena, courtrooms and campuses, betting the peak of his career on conviction.
Exile is long. He debated on television, sparred with professors, and sold tickets with words he couldn't cash with fists. Bills stacked. Pride stayed unspent. The roadshow kept moving, powered by belief and stubborn charm. In Washington, 9 justices weighed a boxer's soul. The ruling freed him, not to rewind time, but to fight again. Some doors opened with law, others required punches. He laced up, older, wiser, still quick. Jerry Quarry fell, then Oscar Bonavena after a long grind. The engine coughed to life. He wasn't the Blur of '64, but he learned new gears. Craft over flash, angles over arrogance. Then came Frazier. In Madison Square Garden, 2 undefeated champions collided. He walked into left hooks that felt like verdicts. When the bell tolled the end, he tasted defeat and the need to rebuild. He retreated to a camp in the Pennsylvania woods, Deer Lake, where boulders bore carved names of old champions. At dawn, he ran through mist, chasing time with new humility, plotting the path back to the summit.
A second dance with Frazier brought redemption without closure. He won by decision, but both men knew the ledger still burned. Meanwhile, another thunderhead gathered far away. George Foreman, demolisher of giants. To Zaire, where the equatorial night hums, Mobutu's banners hung over the city. School children chanted Ali Bomaye. He smiled and shadowboxed with the sweltering air, drawing power from the crowd's fever.
In the locker room, he told Angelo Dundee a secret plan. Let the beast tire. Let the air thin around him. He'd turn the ropes into allies and patience into a blade. Every strategist knows shock comes dressed as simplicity. Under the lights, Foreman's fists fell like hammers on a cathedral door. Ali talked, leaned back, absorbed, frustrating rhythm. Seconds stretched. The rope creaked, the gamble breathed, the round clock crawled. Then the giant slowed. Shoulders dipped, breath sawed. Ali slid off the ropes, uncoiling speed that remembered youth. Right, left, right, lightning on steel. Foreman folded. A continent roared. The gamble paid in full. He told cameras, grinning through exhaustion, that he'd shocked the world again. Yet victory's glow hides attacks. Every war collects a toll. His legend swelled. His body quietly added the bill to a ledger. Manila summoned the finale with Frazier. Heat smothered the arena like a wet blanket. Political grudges and personal pride made the ring feel small. Outside, dawn lifted. Inside, two men descended into myth. Rounds piled like stones. Eyes swelled shut, wills calcified. When Frazier's corner stopped it, Ali slumped and whispered that it was the nearest he'd been to death. Triumph here meant surviving the abyss. Titles came and went. He lost to Leon Spinks, then took it back. The miles gathered in his legs. The echoes deepened in his speech. Yet he kept stepping forward, refusing to be a statue to his own past. A diagnosis etched a new opponent into his days. Hands that wrote poems began to tremble. Mornings slowed. But grace isn't a sprint. It's a long walk, and he walked it with the same stubborn light that powered his youth. He traveled as a messenger of empathy, visiting hospitals, refugees, and those who'd been pushed to the margins. The charisma that once sold fights now lifted spirits, turning celebrity into a universal handshake. Atlanta, 1996. The flame waited in silence. A hand shook as it rose, steadying itself by will alone. The stadium fell into reverent awe. Past speed no longer mattered. Courage did. The torch kissed fire, and the world exhaled. When he passed, Louisville lined the roads. Muslims, Christians, skeptics, believers, faces washed by memory, stood shoulder to shoulder. They weren't mourning a fighter only. They were saluting a mirror that reflected their own bravery. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Words now carved into time. But beyond slogans and belts lies the question he lived. Who are you when the world demands a compromise? His answer echoes. Be the author of your own name.